Hey guys, so today I welcome you in this little ramble video, so it's a little out of the tune from the usual stuff we have here, but I decided to do a little Q&A session because there's been a lot of new people coming into the channel, into my other social media, asking pretty much similar questions and whatnot, and I decided to just pile them up into the video and answer a couple of those in depth as much as I can. So without wasting too much time, let's just get into the first question, which comes from VFD or Dep. I'm pretty much mispronouncing every name in this video, but let's go. How much time do you dedicate towards pro CSGO, including physical/mental prep? So this is a good question because I feel like when you want to be a professional player, you pretty much have to dedicate all your time to it. So it's 24/7 job, and whatever I do in my personal life as well as professional lives is kind of oriented towards the performance so I can be the best version of myself on the server and playing CSGO. So, for example, obviously I play a lot of CS. Sometimes it's 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 10 hours per day. But obviously what I do outside of those hours, away from computer, is heavily tied to what I want to be as a professional gamer. So that's why I prepare mentally. I do mental exercises, I do meditation, I do exercises, actual physical exercises in gym, I do cardio. I just want to improve my mental and health well-being just so I can perform the best as much as I can. Another preparation would be to prepare for the games. So even when I have a day off, I like to watch other tournaments, I like to watch other teams, how they develop, how they play, what's their meta, etc. So I analyze those things as well, and this can take pretty much the whole day off, where I was supposed to just chill and relax. But to me, I chill and relax by watching others and learning from them and implementing into our game and being ready for it for the next tournament. So you can see the mindset, how it shifts around the whole idea of being pro gamer. If you want to do something, you have to put 100% into it. Even I try to optimize even my sleep basically, and I track every little bits and details of the sleep, how it affects me, how I feel when I wake up, how I feel when I go to bed. So all these things I consult, as well as a nutritionist, so I take care of what I eat. And basically it's a 24/7 job, and this is how much effort I put into it. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one pro here. I'm sure there's at least 99% of us do it, and if we want to take it seriously, we have to do it this way. All right, next question is from Drunky Imraum, whatever. How to start to become an analyst, how to figure out important things. So this would probably be best to ask actual analysts. I'm just a player, but I will give you my opinion on this. So first of all, you have to have certain mindset about being analyst. You have to obviously like to analyze things and put things into some narrative or spot some cues or clues what teams are usually doing on the map and see if they stack on top of each other. So there's a certain pattern to their game. Now, obviously, this is not for everyone, and I have teammates that absolutely hate doing this, but I myself, I quite enjoy it. I, used to study economics before. I was a little bit of analytical mind before when I was younger. And I prepare individually for each and every game by watching others and seeing some patterns, and that I share with my team later on. So you have to have certain mindset for it, first of all. And second of all, how to actually start is I would suggest just watching a lot of demos. So you can do it. It's for free. Obviously, you can load up demo and then you watch a bunch of rounds, and it's a tedious really effort to go through every single demo in CSGO. But you have to start somewhere. Eventually, when you get signed to the team, you probably can get your hands onto something like called STYKO, which is something that we use in Apeks, and it's really beneficial. You don't really see the demo, but you see the map, the layout of the map, and how people move with which timings, which nades they like to use at which timings. And basically, it's just way more time efficient for me because I don't need to know exactly what angles our opponent's holding. I just know basically where generally they are. And that's all for me, and it's really, really time saving. And this is basically how I watch demos and analyze for the opponents for the past, let's say, year or so. So very much effective tool, and I'm not sponsored by this or whatever, but it's just sharing my opinion. Next question coming from Ima_NE. So how do you deal with a failure and keep up the good work? So first of all, thanks for appreciation, but how do you deal with failure is such a it's a topic that a lot of pro players, even throughout their careers, don't really know how to find an answer to this, because obviously we're very competitive minds and losing is something that we hate absolutely the most. And it's hard to deal with it. Obviously, it's hard to deal with it when it comes to pressure from the organization, from the teammates, from fans. It's your livelihood. If you perform bad at 3 tournaments in a row, you might very well be out of the roster and out of the job. So obviously, it's a lot of pressure, and dealing with failure is very individualistic. So for me, what I like to do is usually disconnect from social media for a day or two, just to chill down and really see what was bad, because directly after the loss, there's a lot of emotions, usually bad ones, and you can't really put your mind to ease and really evaluate what went wrong and what went good. And after a day or two, it usually becomes clear to me, and I'm starting to open up, with the teammates, and we start having discussions, etc., etc. So it takes time for me. And it's usually good discussions. Like, obviously, we come to the points where we actually fix something. And I think this is how I found my way to actually bring these failures and these tough losses into positive, because I used to directly try to overanalyze like hour or two after the game, and it just wasn't good analysis. I was coming to wrong conclusions, and I was making just wrong assumptions altogether. And after a day or two, I figured this is perfect, like balance for me, perfect time to start, discussing, start rewatching, start analyzing, and learning from the mistake that we did. And that's how I deal with it. Hey guys, so quick break from the video before we answer the next question. But please, if you like this video, consider subscribing, liking, or even commenting or sharing with your friends, whatever. It really helps me, helps the channel, helps the algorithm, and everything in between. So now let's get back into the question before. The next question, and this is one of the most asked ones, is by Oscar Wang 04. How to find consistency? So this is something, again, that a lot of pro players are trying to chase throughout their whole careers. It can take up to 10 years to find some kind of consistency, but I did a video about it. You can find it right now on the screen. Basically, it's something called ABC game, or something called inchworm. Or inchworm technique. So this is what I learned from the books, because I like to do it. I like to just read about stuff, about performance in other sports, not only esports, and this is what I learned. So basically, there's like inchworm concept where you have like a bell curve, and you have pretty much your skill is divided in three areas. So A game, B game, and C game. A game is obviously the best one, is where you perform the best, it's where you're hitting your shots and everything is working. B game is that middle ground, which you're usually in, like 70% of the time when you're playing, you're probably playing your B game. And then C game, which is a really bad game, when you're having like really a stinker and nothing is working and you're missing your shots and you're in stress and communication is off, etc., etc. So you want to minimize your C game and also at the same time maximize your B game and A game. So what people should do while finding consistency is to minimize the C game by working on your weaknesses. So whatever your weaknesses are, work on those instead of working on something that you're really good at. So C game has to be, tightened. And that's why if you really suck at, let's say, late round clutching, and you're in those situations a lot and your team heavily relies on it, try to, analyze or overanalyze even 1v1s, 1v2s, how to put yourself into good position, how to take angles, how to correctly peek, etc. And put your focus on that instead of something that you're really good at. Let's say you know every piece of utility on the map. How is that going to help you in that clutch scenario? So don't focus on that, even if it maybe makes you more happier, or it's much more easier for you to learn those nade lineups. Focus on something that is really hard and difficult for you. That way, your C game and A game kind of shrinks, and your B game is going to become stronger. This is this inchworm concept, and you let this inchworm to stretch it later again, because you're going to develop your skill set, and eventually you will become a better player and much more consistent player. So a question coming from Tim_Tima. What do you do when you aren't playing CSGO? Well, so for the most of my life, I'm playing a CSGO, obviously. But when I'm not, I'm trying to become a better gamer no matter what is happening. So I'm trying to read books, listen to podcasts. It's all about performance and how best athletes in the world work. And I'm really interested into it. But I already covered that in previous questions, kind of. So something that I'm kind of switching my brain off to relax away from Counter-Strike is I'm trying to learn a little bit about business. This is what I used to do when I was in college, but I had to drop out because of, going pro in this. It was always interesting to me how to kind of scale up things and do marketing and hang around in social media and trying to understand the algorithms of it all. And I'm really this kind of guy that just like to educate myself a bit, so I always find something. So during COVID, it was chess boom. Obviously, I tried to start playing chess, and I'm doing it until this day, and I'm trying to get pretty good at it. And I always find something that interests me, and it could be like stupid things. Like I had a period where I tried to solve Rubik's Cube under 5 minutes, and I did it in a period of, let's say, 1 month of pure grinding Rubik's Cube, right? Like I have these kind of things that just come and go, and I try to, shape it myself as a human, and I'm hoping to get any benefit of it. So any skills that really make my character more valuable, I always pick it up, I always read about it, I always listen to it, Spotify playlists and podcasts and everything around that. So I'm very, very much the guy that just doesn't relax or something. I just find myself in always learning something and experiencing something new. So this is what I do. Next question coming from Amund F08. So how does the team synergy work in offline versus online games? And this is a really good question. So I'm gonna bring an example from Paris Major, where everything for us was really hyped. Like we got to the quarterfinals against Liquid, everyone was so hyped. Like we were shouting, we were screaming, we were winning the rounds, we were screaming, we were losing the rounds, we were screaming, like cheering each other up. Then we got in semifinals. Obviously that was a little rough when we lost that, but we were still really happy. Even while we were losing, we were like smiling and enjoying the moment. And then we had to come back home and play 2 tournaments online. And that was like night and day difference, because suddenly I personally and my teammates felt the same, and pretty much everyone feels the same. Like it's really hard to find this spark in online game once you were so much higher just a week before at the major, for example, at offline game in front of packed arena, and it's hard to find that same level of arousal, of anxiety at the same time. The nervousness, like it's a little bit gone, and therefore the whole performance of the team is used to that good performance at the major, but we can't get there. We can't hype ourselves up to get there. And this is something that I've seen a lot of teams experience, especially those teams that are really loud offline on the LAN environment, and when they come online, they just struggle against teams that should be beating 99 out of 100 times. So this is how the synergy works. So it's really hard to mimic that experience from the offline game, where usually people are at their best, to bring that into online games. And we've been working on it. We acknowledged our mistake and our weakness. This is what we've been working on ever since the major. So that's it. Next question coming from David by. So do you find traveling a lot exhausting, and what about free time with your family? Is it enough? So no, it's not enough. I barely see my family despite me living in the same town. I visit them like once a month, which to me I think is all right, but they always want more, obviously. Seeing friends, like I accepted that sometimes I see certain friends, which I consider really good friends of mine, we like hang around a lot, at least through like social media and chatting, but we actually see each other like twice per year. And I'm completely okay with that. They got used to it, I guess, and it's not enough. It's not enough, but we're doing our best, because the traveling, and obviously I'm not the team that travels to every single tournament. There's far better teams that are doing even more traveling, especially when it comes to like NA teams or whatnot. So I'm traveling quite a lot, but I find it exhausting, and you can see it even if you're going to the vacation or coming back from vacation, and suddenly this travel day, you come back home and you're exhausted, you're dead tired, and even though you were like sleeping on a plane, you were like sitting, you were not doing anything physical, right? But the stress of travel is really under your skin. It's inside your mind, and it's always like, it's really tough to balance the travel. And it's part of the job, and I love every second of it, but I'm not saying it's easy. And I would never trade it for anything else, but I think it's really important that the young players, especially coming into the scene, 16, 17 years old, they're going to travel a lot, and for their body, it's not that easy to adjust to everything, let alone speaking about jet lag and whatnot. So I think it's a good question to ask, because through this answer, I could raise the awareness a little bit. If you make it to the pro level, the travel will seem like, wow, I'm living my best dream and I'm traveling to the parts of the world I would never see. This travel is amazing, but once you actually experience it, the travel will be kind of tedious. You know, you won't even enjoy it that much. So, question coming from VAXEE. So, how does it feel in the team not to have JL? It was a great opportunity for him. I guess everyone would do it. So, we got these news. I remember we were on the TeamSpeak and JL was pretty happy, and he shared the news with us that he got approached by Navi, and our immediate reaction was, I remember Jacob started speaking out, and he was immediately happy about the opportunity that he got, because obviously this is once in a lifetime opportunity for him, and we would be really pissed if he didn't take it. Honestly, I'm not talking about contractual things and deals, agreements between Navi and Apeks, but for us as a players, we instantly told him Justinas, you have to go. This is amazing. We are so happy for you. And the rest is history. You know how it went. The deal went through, and now he's playing for Navi, and I'm incredibly happy for him. There's no bad blood between us. I hope so. Whenever we see each other, whenever we comment on each other's posts, everything's pretty normal, and he's a great guy. So good luck to him. And I guess everyone would do it is the exact words that I would describe the situation. So if Kicksan got this offer, if Nog got this offer, obviously Navi is a huge team. I wouldn't be that happy if, let's say, Into the Breach comes and asks JL, because I don't think we're that worse. I think we're better than Into the Breach. So I wouldn't be happy with that decision, but Navi is something else. So obviously, props to him and good luck to him. Now, question from Alexander Hario. So do you see yourself working as a coach when you eventually stop being a pro player? And I was thinking about this question because I got asked this a lot, and I'm not sure. I would probably lean towards no. I don't want to shut the door for myself right now by answering this question, but I would probably lean towards no, because I can see that if I ever stop being a pro player, the only reason for it would be that I am either burned out or I'm done being in a stressful environment that competing, is really stressful, basically. So by transferring to coach, I feel like I'm going to put myself in a position where it's going to be even more stressful, because there's going to be even more pressure and even more responsibilities, and it's completely new. So I don't see myself. I would rather just coach people through content or personal coaching or whatever. But coaching actual team, I think, is incredibly difficult job. And I don't see myself in this position, especially when for example, IGLing didn't work out back in the days. I don't feel like I would be a great coach either. It might be a little far-fetched, but I think this is not for me. And for now, I would say no. But you never know what the future holds. So let's see. And now we're going to the question by Ota Christian. So what's the best available demo reviewer for CS? So this is a great question, because I think actually the demo reviewer within CS is not that bad lately. I personally watch all the demos through in-game option, and it's not laggy anymore. I can rewind and rewatch whatever I like. I'm pretty happy with how it runs. It doesn't have too many issues, and obviously you have some binds that you can just make this whole process a little less tedious. But there are always better and paid apps that you can just use, or software that you can use, and it's generally much better and much faster and much more time efficient. But I understand that these apps cost a lot of money, especially for teams. So I mentioned previously in the video StarCaller thing, which we use in Apeks, and I know it's not a cheap solution to this problem. So if you're just wanting to watch a demo and improve, just getting into CSGO and load the demo is the way to go, in my opinion. If you want to actually analyze for a team, if you want to get into something serious and do some content with strategies and patterns and defaulting, etc., then it's probably worth investing into something that is making your job much more easier. But other than that, CSGO is fine. Just demo_index1 and it's gonna load just much faster. So this was it. I managed to answer a couple of questions. There's been a lot more, so I'm sorry if yours didn't make it into the video, but there's always gonna be the next one. And please just follow me on my Instagram, where I'm sometimes just randomly ask asking for you to ask me questions because it's really interesting to reply to some of them, and eventually you can make it into a video like this. So see you on my Instagram. Thanks for watching the video, and click on this one that you think you will like. It's somewhere here.